The Mississippi River flows through Memphis, Tennessee. So do the sounds of the blues and rock and roll. From their home on legendary Beale Street, Elvis rocked this town, and now NASCAR is rolling through with its own brand of thunder. The summer swing for the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East kicks off in Memphis, Tennessee. Spencer Davis is hoping a good run today could move him into the top 5 in points. And Trey Hutchins climbed out of his modified to challenge the top stars of the K&N Pro Series East. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Memphis, Tennessee, and the Memphis 150 presented by AutoZone. I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside Brandon McReynolds, and Dylan Welch will be joining us soon from down on pit road. Let's show you where the racetrack, this 3/4 mile oval, is located at on this very warm afternoon here in Tennessee. We are about 16 miles outside of downtown Memphis, right off of Beale Street. Brandon, as we get ready to go racing here, this is a fast and bumpy racetrack.
Yeah, as you mentioned, this 3/4 mile, it's got a lot of characteristics. I know talking to the crew chiefs, they've been really struggling with the handling on these K&N East cars. A lot of bumps around this racetrack, so it'll be interesting to see who can come home with the victory this afternoon.
Let's go down trackside to Dylan.
Thanks, Ralph. It's a hot one tonight here in Memphis. Temperatures above 100 degrees this afternoon. The sun has been baking down on this racetrack all afternoon long, and that's created a head-scratching situation for many of the crews in the garage trying to get these race cars dialed in. As is the case in many of these races, the unknown is the rubber. It's the first race here at Memphis for the new radial tires, and while crews will have the option to put on a new set during one of 2 scheduled breaks, conserving the tires on your race car will pay huge dividends at the end of a run or the end of the race. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're excited to watch all the storylines develop here for 150 laps tonight at Memphis.
25 laps more than they did here a year ago, and you can see the winners already this season. You also saw the bumps and the cracks in that racing service. Let's take you back in the day to when NASCAR first showed up here at Memphis. It was the first time any one of the top 3 racing series in NASCAR raced here in Memphis, and it was a truck series that debuted. NASCAR Hall of Famer Ron Hornaday was there, but he had his troubles. He cut a tire down early.
Yeah, we might see some of that this afternoon. This track is so abrasive. Even when they first came here with the truck series, it definitely really abrasive. Some really tight battling on the racetrack. I think we'll see a lot of that today.
Sauter got moved up out of the way. That's Biffle in that red 50, but he was a lap down at this point. Hornaday worked his way past Biffle as well and on to the checkered flag to take the first win for one of NASCAR's premier touring divisions here at Memphis, and the celebration was on.
It's no surprise to see Ron Hornaday with that Napa 16 win the race. Derek Kraus also in the 16 car tonight.
Let's meet today's pole sitter. Here's Dylan once again.
Tyler Ankrum going to lead us to the green tonight here at Memphis. Won his first race last time out. First pole tonight. On a track that is as abrasive as this, how important is it to start up front?
It's super important because that's all your track position. You don't have to work anymore. So hopefully we can stay up front, just ride the whole entire race. I know there's going to be some comers and goers. There's going to be a few guys that are going to want to lead the first 50 laps. We don't really know what we're going to do yet on strategy because we do have those 2 breaks at lap 15 and lap 100. The break at lap 100 is looking more like the way to go with how much tires fall off. You know, in practice yesterday, you know, we were running at the times we ran in qualifying, and we fell off almost a full second. You know, almost every single run you go back out, you went slower and slower and slower. So this track's very abrasive, like you said, and we're going to just see how it ends up.
Toyotas have won all 5 races in the K&N Pro Series East this season. Tyler Ankrum going to try and make it 6 tonight at Memphis.
He'll have a good shot at it, and we'll have the green flag from Memphis International Raceway when we return to Tennessee. K&N Pro Series Racing on NBCSN is brought to you by K&N High Flow Air Filters and Air Intake Systems, because everyone loves that fast car smell. Well, the drivers are all strapped in, starting to roll around the racetrack. The fans are settling in, and we're getting set to go racing here at Memphis. So who should we keep an eye on here today, Dylan?
Well, guys, I'm keeping my eyes on Haley Deegan tonight. Young lady's putting together a really nice season out west, multiple top 10s there. Comes to the East Series and to Memphis tonight, feeling confident. Feels like she's getting the hang of these stock cars after transitioning from the off-road trucks. It won't be easy for her tonight. She'll roll off from 13th, but it'll be awfully fun to watch Haley Deegan try and march her way forward tonight here at Memphis.
Yeah, Haley Deegan, she's been doing a really nice job out west. You can see her confidence building week in and week out, just taking baby steps and getting her confidence up and getting better runs out of her 19 Bill McAnally racing car.
Here's a good look at the stats for this racetrack, and there's some banking to hang on to in these corners.
Yeah, a little bit of banking. I know a lot of guys are complaining about right rear slip, meaning that right rear tire just starting to spin as the practice went on and you get more laps on those tires. Tyler Ankrum talked about it in his interview. It's going to be really important to keep that track position. So while guys might save their tires at this racetrack, I think everyone's going to be really aggressive on the restarts.
Well, there you see Ankrum on the pole. Tyler Dipple's going to roll off alongside of him. Ruben Garcia Jr. on row 3 on the inside. And Derek Kraus, you mentioned him, on the outside of row number 4.
Yeah, and then Anthony Alfredo back in row 5 on the inside. I know he's been getting better week in and week out. Got the win at South Boston in the second race, and the twin races up there, so I'm sure his confidence is at all-time high.
Trey Hutchins right alongside Haley Deegan back in row number 7. 150 laps set to go here in Memphis. Coming to the green flag. Oh, a little slipping and sliding already through 1 and 2 as they start to fight for a lane down the backstretch.
Yeah, you see all these race cars starting to fan out. Almost reminds me a little bit of Pocono going down the back straightaway. They're just trying to fight for that bottom groove, which has been the preferred line, and that's what we've seen all day throughout practice sessions here.
Ankrum is going to take the lead position from the pole, and Tyler Dipple in that 54 will slide into second place with the number 30 of Grant Quinlan, now rolling along in third in the black machine.
Yeah, everyone started out this race side by side, and what we're seeing is them just shoot right back down to the bottom. And I think as you start to get a little bit of a gap from the car behind you, that's when you can start taking care of those tires, but you got to be able to keep that track position.
There's Ruben Garcia Jr. in the 6th, the blue and white machine, already picking up a position.
Yeah, I know talking to Ruben after practice, he was really excited about how his car was handling. I know he's really pleased with it. His guys have been working really hard. He's had some strong runs this year, and they just keep chipping away at it. I know his long run setup has been really good here today, so I think we won't really see the full speed out of that 6 car until later on in the race.
A little side-by-side racing deeper in the field here with the 99 of Cole Rouse on the outside. Do you think there's going to be a lot of grip on the outside lane here today?
I think it's going to be tough because everyone's been practicing right down on the bottom. I think you can get away with restarting up there, but as soon as you get the car settled out and the field kind of starts single file on the bottom, I think you got to get back down there, and it'll probably help you save your tires without that much rubber up top.
You saw Anthony Alfredo in the 40 right there. He got hung up on the outside, lost at least 2 spots there in the 19 of Haley Deegan. Going to work on the inside as well, trying to get around Dylan Bassett, and she will.
Really good move by Haley Deegan as she gets a little sideways off of turn 2. That car looks a little bit free, but that's the hardest part as a race car driver right here. You want to move forward, you want to gain spots, but you can't overdrive your car as we see her sliding up the hill into turn 3.
She was on the bottom, made a gain of a position, gets stuck on the outside and loses 2. It goes to show you the difference between the 2 lanes.
Yeah, and a lot of that is just being disciplined as a race car driver. She's coming from dirt off-road racing, and now she's on asphalt, and she's learning how much she can really push this tire, and everyone's going through a learning curve, including her crew chief, just trying to learn what this radial tire likes, you know, as far as a long run setup. So it's definitely hard to be disciplined with this new radial tire.
Back up to the front we go, and Tyler Ankrum has led every lap so far, although we're very early into this race. They also talked at the beginning of the show, Brandon, about a couple of breaks coming. How do you think that will affect race strategy today?
I agree with what Tyler Ankrum said in his interview. I think with how wore out this racetrack is that you got to wait to put your tires on, your 4 tires, to the end of the race at lap 100 or around 100. I think if you pit on lap 50, you're really going to pay for it. You might feel like a hero for a little bit, but when those cars pit at lap 100, they're going to be flying by you quicker than you can even think about it. So it'll be interesting to see what some of these crew chiefs decide to do, but I definitely think you got to wait and take those tires later in the race.
And Spencer Davis in the orange 82 really giving a workover to the backside of Ruben Garcia's number 6.
Yeah, Spencer, he's a really tough racer. I know he works really hard on his race cars. He's slipped up and made a few mistakes this year. I know he got in a little bit of an accident up there at Bristol. And the thing I like about Spencer is his work ethic and his willingness to understand when he's wrong. I know following him on social media, he just told everyone, hey, I made a mistake. So it's cool to see him rebound from that with this small team. And he's up there having a really strong run at the start of this race.
No matter what level of racing you're in, you're going to make those mistakes. Always better just to own it and move on, right?
That's right. Yeah, that's all you can do. And he's a good kid, and he's been gaining a lot of really good experience racing with Kyle Busch Motorsports. So it's great for his racecraft, so to speak, to be able to come out here and trade paint with these guys. And seat time is the most important thing as a young racer.
Our top 2 competitors have opened up a bit of a gap over the rest of the field. Ankrum and Dipple still pacing each other here at the front of the field.
You can see both those David Gilliland racing cars. They're really working the bottom of the racetrack really well. We've seen some of the cars towards the mid-pack of the field kind of wash up in the center of the corner. Both of these cars are able to line wrap, so to speak, and really eat up the bottom of the racetrack right around that grass. So obviously their handling's really good right now.
David Gilliland, Max Siegel, and of course Bill McAnally, some of the major car owners in the K&N series these days. How do you think they separate each other when it comes to who is turning out the best race cars these days?
I tell you what, I raced for Bill McAnally for a long time, and he's got a lot of really great people at his organization. But David Gilliland, I've got to work around him a little bit, working with Noah Gregson. We've run some races to fill our schedule out this year, working with him about 3 or 4 races, and he works from sun up to sundown and then some. So he's definitely got a great group of people, a lot of really good, loyal guys that come to work on his race cars. And, I mean, I got to go off what Noah Gregson's told me. It's some of the nicest race cars he's ever driven. So I think that says a lot about his program.
Well, that's a McAnally car right there in the 16. And then Chase giving chase in that number 4. Right behind him in a Max Siegel-owned machine.
Yeah, Chase coming off a really strong run at South Boston in the second race, in the twin races up there. He was leading with just a couple laps to go. Got into a little bit of a fender bender, so to speak, with Anthony Alfredo. But that program's been getting better and better, and we're seeing him and his teammate Ruben Garcia having a strong run.
In the fight here is the number 30, Dylan.
Well, guys, Grant Crenlin running in that 3rd spot and closing on this lead duo here of the DGR cars. His team, Rhett Jones Racing, was one of the teams that tire tested at Gateway earlier this year. Now, Grant wasn't in the car for the test. It was former ARCA champion Justin Lofton. But the information that they gathered at that tire test, they feel like has been pretty beneficial so far for them this week. Crew Chief Mark Brett feels like they found some stuff at that test that's been able to help them here today using those same tires that they used at Gateway. And I thought Grant had a great quote. You know, we've been talking so much about the tires and the battle that they present today. Grant said these tires have pretty good memory. If you make them mad, they'll fight back. So it's all about being patient, not abusing them, and treating them nicely in the early going so you have some left at the end.
And that's something that's really tough to teach a veteran, let alone a younger driver like you might find here in the K&N series.
Absolutely, and the hardest part for Grant, as well as trying to learn the tires, is going to a lot of these racetracks for the first time and really trying to figure out what it takes to go up there and win races.
We'll be right back for more action from Memphis. Welcome back to Memphis. Teams are back out on the racetrack after the first of 2 competition cautions today. Just before the caution came out, Spencer Davis in the orange 82 had taken the lead, and now they take the green. Davis back into the lead with the 54 of Tyler Dipple on the inside, trying to hang on to that second place spot with the 17 of Tyler Ankrum, who had led so many laps early on, kind of trapped on the outside here, Brandon.
Yeah, this is where Tyler Ankrum really has to be smart with his tires, as we still have quite a ways till they can put their 4 tires on their race cars. I'm sure he's hoping that his teammate, Tyler Dipple, in the 54 cuts him a little bit of slack so he can get back down to the bottom and get back into that preferred groove so he doesn't overheat that right rear tire.
Well, he's trying to drive it down there, isn't now? He's finally cleared him going into 3.
Yeah, that was a really smart move by Tyler Dipple as well. He the 17 of Ankrum kind of chopped him a little bit getting into turn 3, and Tyler Dipple was smart enough to back off a little bit.
Ronnie Bassett Jr. in the 0-4 pulls down 4th. There he is. If he can better that, it will be a season's best finish this year. This is round 6 of the 2018 championship season.
We're really seeing that clean air that Tyler Ankrum had been talking about earlier before the start of the race really pay off for Spencer Davis in the 82 as he's able to gap those 2 DGR cars behind him. I just think if you can get that clean air, we're at a big enough racetrack, even though it's not a Michigan or a California, but you get that clean air on that nose and it just helps the tires work. It helps the front grip of that car, and we're seeing it really pay dividends for Spencer Davis right now.
You see the 44 car, Dylan Bassett in the frame as well. He's been hunting around the front most of the day. Here's Quinlan in that 30. And he's going to get trapped on the outside. And it looks like the 40 of Anthony Alfredo will be able to use that inside lane to move past.
Yeah, I've been watching Grant Quinlan's car the last couple laps and just watching him get down into turn 1 and into turn 3. His car looks really loose and unstable getting down in the corner, and that's got to be really aggravating for that young driver. I'm sure he's talking to his crew chief, Mark Rett, hoping that they can make an adjustment. He's just got to be able to get to that break at lap 100 and get that car tuned up for him.
Alfredo, a 19-year-old rookie on the tour. Good side-by-side racing here, and the advantage will go to Cole Rouse in the number 99. Cole, one of our next-gen drivers, the NASCAR K&N Series.
Hi, I'm Cole Rouse, driver the number 99 Napa Focus Toyota. I started off in late models when I was 15 years old. Now progressed to NASCAR K&N West and partially the East. Hoping to do some truck races later this year and get ready for next year, hopefully do a full-time truck deal. Toyota put me in a really good spot to go to Kyle Busch Motorsports and race super late models for a full season. Kyle's awesome help, so it was great to have him around, and it's great competition. We'll have the Sunrise Ford guys there this year competing for a championship with us, and of course our Bill McAnally Racing, my teammates over there, competing for a championship too and wins. I'm Cole Rouse, and that's your NASCAR Next Gen profile.
What do you like about Cole Rouse as a driver?
Well, the thing I like about Cole Rouse is he surrounds himself with really good people. I've spent a lot of time with him away from the racetrack. I know he's good buddies with Eric Jones, and he's really leaned on Kyle Busch a lot, so he's got a lot of really good people surrounding him to help him on the racetrack.
Pretty intense battle going on right here. And Davis points him to the inside.
Really heads-up move for Spencer Davis right there. Tyler Ankrum, it just seems like his car's a little bit better on the long run. Smart decision by Spencer Davis, knowing that we have a long ways left in this race. I'll be honest, too, Ralph, we don't see that too often in K&N racing. A lot of these guys are, I won't say inexperienced, but they're learning. They're learning what it takes to win these races, and I think we're seeing that experience level from Spencer Davis as he's competed in higher series than this really paying off for him today, making a good move and understanding that he just needs to work on his car to have a shot at winning later on.
That is such a hard thing to learn because obviously you're competitive. The last thing you want to do is wave a guy by, but a veteran will know that sometimes that move will allow that other driver to fall back to you a few laps later. Yeah,
absolutely. And Spencer's, he's paid his dues. He's made some mistakes, and he's just starting to learn that you got to be able to win the race, you got to be there at the end. So if you're ultra aggressive right now, 9 times out of 10, it's probably not going to work out with you with this far left in the race to go.
Dipple coming through as well in the 54 as they work through some of their traffic there, including Marcos Gomes in the 55.
There we see Haley Deegan making a really good charge towards the front. actually pitted under that last caution for 4 tires. The thing she's got to be careful of right now with so many laps left is to not overheat those tires, knowing that these couple cars in front of her are more than likely going to pit and take their 4 tires at lap 100.
You see Davis slipping a little bit coming up off the corner. Lap 100 is when we expect that other competition caution, and I would assume everybody else dives for pit road.
Yeah, I just think with 50 laps after that next competition yellow, I just don't think there's any way that you couldn't come down and leave. You don't want to leave those 4 tires sitting in the pit area, because I think you'll be running up through the field and you'll have a lot of confidence in your car and a lot of grip with such a short run to the finish.
Just 15 laps from now.
Spencer's doing a really good job right here, holding off Tyler Dipple in the 54. Tyler's car, a lot like his teammate Tyler Ankrum, just seems to be turning a little bit better. You can see him really hugging that grass right on the bottom side of turns 1 and 2 as Spencer's car is kind of washing up a little bit in the middle.
Spencer Davis in that orange number 82, 6th in the championship. The 54 of Tyler Dipple, well, he sits 2nd. He's only 11 points behind series leader Tyler Ankrum. And a caution waves. This is not the competition caution. You can see the car around between turns 3 and 4. It's the 43 machine that has spun over there that will bring out the caution of Armani Williams. Doesn't look like he hit anything. It was all by himself at the time.
Yeah, just fighting hard down there on the bottom, just got sucked around.
With more on Armani's story, here's Dylan.
He is diagnosed as autistic, and he's a young man who is making his K&N debut tonight, but wants to use his racing career as a platform to help raise awareness for autism. I spoke to him a little bit earlier today. So there's a lot of talented kids who have autism, and I want to show them, and everybody for that matter, that obstacles can be beaten and overcome, and that you can still accomplish your dreams if you put your heart to it. So a really, really awesome story for Armani Williams, and hoping for a good run for him today in his K&N debut aboard that Calabrese Motorsports entry.
Armani Williams, a tremendous story inside the NASCAR K&N Pro Series East Championship. We'll be right back for more racing from Memphis. NASCAR's K&N Pro Series East Tour is running in Memphis, Tennessee, the home of the Blues. David Gilliland Racing led the field to the green. Ankrum and Davis have traded the lead and had a spirited battle. Only one incident on the racetrack, and it's when Armani Williams brought out the caution moments ago. Inching our way closer to the second competition caution of the day. Right now it is Tyler Ankrum in the 17 that continues to lead here deep into the race. Pace car is off. Field making its way to the green flag once again. And we're back underway. And restart coming on lap 92. The second competition caution scheduled around lap 100.
We saw earlier in this race, Spencer Davis in the 82 let Tyler Ankrum in the 17 car go for the lead, but I think with just a couple laps left in the break, he's going to be a lot more aggressive trying to get that lead back.
With all this slipping and sliding, boy, those tires are screaming for every little bit of traction they can get.
Yeah, this is some of the best part of the racing right here. Just everyone sliding around those 4 tires, not a lot of grip in them. Haley Deegan right there in 4th, wondering which one of these cars in front of her is going to prevail. But what we're seeing is on those old tires, that outside lane, you just can't hang up there. The bottom lane is definitely the preferred groove.
Well, I know the drivers would love to have maybe a little more traction in the grip of that surface. But as a race fan, I love an old worn-out racetrack. Boy, it provides for some great action.
No, absolutely. It's we definitely know these guys and gals are definitely getting their money's worth today, earning every single thing that they get on the racetrack, trying to get each and every position. Just anytime you can show up at a racetrack like here or Darlington, it always produces really good racing for the fans.
Derek Kraus in the 16.
Yeah, as you see, Derek Kraus is able to exit a lot lower than Spencer Davis in the 82. He also pitted on lap 50, taking his 4 tires. I'm worried for those guys and wondering if that strategy is going to pay off.
J.P. Morgan has slowed in the 23. Turns out he has spun the car. Here's what happened to him.
Yeah, there you see him on the bottom. This place not having a lot of banking and being as wore out as it is, you really fight free on entry. Being in the back of the car wants to come around, especially when someone's right on your door getting in the corner.
Got all the way up to the wall. Hard to tell if he made any contact there. Meanwhile, Ankrum looking for his second victory of the year.
Yeah, Tyler Ankrum, he's really stepped his program up this year. He has a lot of experience in the super late model series. Oh, Ronnie Bassett getting into it with a lap car there.
Yeah, that's Gonzalez in the 6, or the 5, I should say.
You see a little bit of right side damage on the 04 of Ronnie Bassett. He's just got to make sure and nurse that car home until he can get the competition yellow coming up here in a few laps.
Take a look at it again.
Yeah, everybody's just fighting for the bottom there. Ronnie Bassett pushing really hard, and he's got lead lap cars behind him. All that's for position, so sure, he's a little aggravated with the lap car, but he's definitely got to be careful. It might cut down a tire. You got to be careful running into people with that right front fender.
Yeah, that opened the door for Ruben Garcia to push past. And here's the 2 of Ryan Vargas down the backside of Bassett.
Yeah, Ryan Vargas, really great kid, part of the NASCAR Next program this year. West Coast racer, just trying to make a name for himself out here, and one of the nicest kids in the garage area, and I know he's putting a lot of effort into this. Really excited about his opportunity with Rev Racing.
Well, we have passed the 100 lap mark, so we should be seeing that competition caution anytime.
Yeah, and these guys are racing really hard for the lead right here, so I'm sure Tyler Ankrum, he's waiting on NASCAR to throw that yellow too so he can keep that little bit extra track position so he's the first one to come down pit road and more than likely take those tires.
There it is.
I'm sure a lot of these drivers are really glad that caution has come out. They were slipping and sliding all over the place.
They're going to take a break from racing to change those tires. We'll be right back for the green flag. Well, the final competition caution is done for the day. Everybody should have their fresh tires. Let's get an update from pit road from Dylan Welch.
Well, guys, got 47 laps to go. The top 2 did not pit. That's Bill McAnally Racing teammates Haley Deegan, who we saw pit early and drive her way forward. So we'll see if she saved enough to hold off the rest of the field, and specifically those DGR Crosley cars that start in the second row. Going to be fun here with just about 50 to go.
We're going to find out who guessed right. Here we go. Green flag waves once again. Haley will have the advantage on the bottom for now, with Kraus on the outside in the 16.
Yeah, Derek Kraus, he's got to push really hard right here to get in front of his teammate, and he will down into turn 3. Really strong move by Derek Kraus, and now he's got to run and hide because those DGR Crosley cars are going to be coming on those new 4 tires. They're going to have a lot of speed right here.
Ankrum moves into second. You can see Haley got hung up on the outside, losing a lot of ground. Now, how much? Oh, boy, look at the beating and banging going on back here, and Haley right in the middle of it all.
Yeah, everyone's on those 4 tires right now, and Haley Deegan, she's a sitting duck, so to speak, right now with those older tires, just trying to hang on. And the best thing that her and her teammate can get right now of Derek Kraus in the 16 is a caution. Shorten this race up, ride around as many laps as you can, not at speed, just so they can hang on to a good finish.
Lead change, and Ankrum goes to the front once again. 3 wide. Oh, and Haley's on the outside. Here's Davis in the 82. He's trying to hang on to fourth. Cabry and Dipple challenging him. Dipple's actually going backwards. The 54 got stuck on the outside as well.
Yeah, that top lane, we've seen it all night long. It just doesn't seem to get going as well. And once you get hung out there, it almost reminds me of like the old Bristol or Martinsville or something like that. You get on the outside and they'll just freight train you all day long. So I know that's going to be frustrating for Tyler Dipple, but he's just got to stay calm, try to figure a way back down to the bottom. I'm sure Spotter's talking to him through it, and make sure that he doesn't overheat those tires racing on the outside.
Davis to the inside, working Kraus, and a new car in third place now.
Yeah, Spencer Davis, we've seen him all day long. He has a really strong car in that 82. He's just got to be smart, and I'm sure he's watching Tyler Dipple in the 17 getting smaller and smaller, so he's just got to make sure not overheat those tires with just 40 laps to go.
Chase Cabry in the 4. Right behind Dipple here, who is caught back up to Kraus. They're going to push him to the outside and see if they can work their way by. Dylan Bassett in the blue 44. He's right behind Ronnie Bassett.
I'm sure their dad, the owner of those two cars, is really hoping that they don't get into one another. That's got to be a pretty eerie feeling watching your two sons racing hard with just not that many laps to go, just giving it all they got, trying to get the best position they can for their team.
Kraus at one point had the lead when we went back to green. Now he has slipped back quite a bit, trying to fight his way back inside the top 5 now.
Yeah, we talked about it a lot this race, Ralph. I think that strategy of taking your tires early, it's just really hurting Derek Kraus in the 16 and his teammate Haley Deegan in the 19, just hanging on. I'm sure they're really ready for the end of this race for this thing to get over. And Derek Kraus, he's not giving up, though. He's fighting hard on the outside.
And look at this, late in the day, here comes Ruben Garcia to the lead in the 6 car. Dylan.
Yeah, Rob, it's been a decent season for Ruben Garcia. Sits 7th in points coming into tonight. Best run for him this year so far has been 10th. He's a former NASCAR Peak Mexico Series champ. Native of Mexico City, still races in the Peak Mexico Series regularly. He's been competing with that series this year so far. Looking for his first K&N Pro Series win, though, and he's looking awfully strong. Drove up there and took the lead away from Tyler Ankrum.
Strong move, and that was not a car that was flirting around the top 3 at all early in the day.
Yeah, he was just hanging right there on the outside of the top 5, and I think what we're seeing right here, he's just pushing his car as fast as he can, trying to break away and keep that lead towards the end of the race.
Did Ruben Garcia make the call on tires? Stay with us to find NASCAR stars Kevin Harvick, Martin Truex Jr., Clint Boyer, and Brad Keselowski have all won here in Memphis. Could Ruben Garcia Jr. add his name to that list here this afternoon? Garcia has moved himself up into the lead and has actually started to open up a gap here between himself and Tyler Ankrum.
Yeah, Ralph, I go back when Ruben Garcia in the 6, when he took the lead from Tyler Ankrum, I was watching him exit the corner of turn 4. Ruben was exiting a lot higher, keeping his momentum up, just driving away from the 17 to Tyler Ankrum, which kind of tells me that Tyler Ankrum was banking on saving his tires a little bit more, but he's got to get back with it right here because the laps are definitely closing in towards the end of the race right here.
He's got to figure out how long can he stay back there at a pace that doesn't abuse the tire, that leaves him enough to make a charge. But he can't wait too long because Garcia's got a lot of speed.
Yeah, right here, Ruben Garcia Jr., I mean, he's about 5 to 7 car lengths ahead of Tyler Ankrum. So Tyler Ankrum, he needs to go right now. I mean, they're coming back to 10 laps to go. His only shot is he's got to start pushing that car as hard as he can to run down Ruben Garcia in the 6.
The one thing that could help Tyler is those 4 or 5 cars in lap traffic just in front of them.
Yeah, absolutely. It's always hardest as the leader to get to that lap car. As we saw Ronnie Bassett get into a lap car earlier down in turns 3 and 4. Everyone's fighting for the bottom. So I'm sure Ruben Garcia Jr.'s team is talking to everyone they can, trying to get those lap traffic out of the way.
Colin Garrett making some moves here late in the goings in the number 18 on the outside. We haven't really seen anybody have any success out there. He seems to be one of the few at least showing competitive speed on the outside, maybe even making a pass.
Yeah, that's true, Ralph. I mean, he's doing a really nice job keeping the two of Vargas pinched down on the bottom, getting that really strong exit off of turn 4. I just think the longer he's out there, the harder it's going to be on those tires, so he's got to get down as soon as possible.
Well, he's going to get a chance, but unfortunately it's going to be not in the position he was hoping for.
Yeah, and that's been the theme of this race. We see those guys get on the outside, and it's very inviting because you just want to roll around the outside of that car in front of you. But it just looks like everyone's so loose down into turn 1 with all those bumps. It's really hard to keep that car in line right in the middle groove.
Well, and that works to Ryan Vargas's benefit as the 2 stays in front in 7th place for now. Inside of 10 laps remaining here in Memphis. The Memphis 150 winding down.
Yeah, we've talked about tires all day long, and at this point, I don't think anyone's worried about those tires, regardless of how much they're heating up that right rear. They're driving these cars sideways and on the edge out of control, just trying to get as many spots as they can in the closing laps.
Nobody's happy with what they have. They're just trying to make the best with what they've got.
No, that's a great point. I can remember growing up racing, going to places like Myrtle Beach. This track reminds me a lot of that racetrack, just really wore out. And you can be leading the race and be screaming about the grip level, just your car sliding all over the place. But Ruben Garcia, he's got it figured out with just 6 laps to go.
Continuing to watch this battle here for 7th. One of the better fights on the racetrack.
Yeah, Ryan Vargas in the 2. He gets a really good launch off the corner, just able to exit lower than the 18 car, keeping that right rear tire hooked up. The straighter you can keep that car leaving the corner on corner exit, the more momentum you're going to carry up out of the corner, especially on these older tires.
The last races, and it was 2 races up at South Boston, Vargas was outside the top 10 in both of those. Tonight looking at a solid finish just outside the top 5. Meanwhile, back at the front of the field, Ruben Garcia has opened up a bit of a healthy gap here.
Yeah, it just seems like Tyler Ankrum in the 17 DGR Crosley car, he's just not able to close in. He might have just waited a little too long to push the panic button, so to speak, and drive back up there. And who knows? I mean, it seems like Ruben Garcia's car, we watched him race just inside the top 5, but now he's got a demanding lead, so his crew chief definitely made the right adjustments on that race car.
Anthony Alfredo in the 40 getting involved in this fight here, the 19-year-old rookie out of Connecticut. He won the 2nd race at South Boston, the race weekend before this one.
I know, talking to his crew chief, Robert Huffman, just after practice, they've been fighting the handling on that car all week long and just really struggling with it. But Anthony's doing a nice job just inching his way forward in the closing laps of the race, just trying to get the best finish he can and collect the most points that he can for his race team.
Well, and he's 4th in the point standing, so another position or 2 would be great. Well, and he could get an opportunity here, too, if these guys get pretty racy. And here comes Garcia.
Yeah, Garcia, he's just checked out on this field. Really impressive run. Ruben Garcia is one of the coolest guys you'll meet. He's worked very hard to be here, making the most of his opportunity. He's just, I'm sure he's hoping he's got one more lap, just hopefully doesn't catch any of that lap traffic that's been in front of him.
9th in the point standings. He's going to pick up a healthy dosage of points here this afternoon. Final lap in the Memphis 150 presented by AutoZone. And Ruben Garcia played this strategy perfectly when it came to his tires here today. And it's going to pay off as Garcia wins at Memphis.
That's such a cool victory for Ruben Garcia Jr. and his race team. I know his family's worked really hard for him to get here, and definitely well-deserving of his first win here in the NASCAR K&N Pro Series.
Ruben Garcia Jr. executed the strategy perfectly. The team made the right calls, and boy, he did a great job of saving those tires for when he needed them most.
Absolutely, Ralph. He fired off on that restart. He was really aggressive, and it paid off for him in the end.
He'll have plenty of tire left to make it to victory lane, and we'll be there to talk to him right after this. K&N Pro Series Racing on NBCSN is brought to you by K&N High Flow Air Filters and Air Intake Systems. because everyone loves that fast car smell. Welcome back here in NBCSN to the Memphis 150 presented by AutoZone. It's been a great race here this afternoon, and it's Ruben Garcia Jr. pulling into victory lane. Let's hear how he saved those tires, Dylan.
We've had 2 first-time winners coming into tonight. Why not make it 3 in a row? Ruben Garcia Jr., a new face in K&N East victory lane. The Rev Racing crew comes in to celebrate.
Hey. Watch your spotter, I feel him. Ruben, talk to you, man.
Ruben, you're a winner in the K&N Pro Series. Can you believe it?
No. I always dream about going to the US and racing. That was a dream, like when I was very little. So the Rev Racing and the D4D program made that dream come true 3 years ago, making me part of this program. And now we're sitting here in Victory Lane, and I can't believe it. I just want to thank everyone in Rev Racing, my family, my girlfriend, my friends, everyone that made this possible. I mean, we started a little bit tough this year, but everything worth this moment.
You were really aggressive on that last restart there with about 50 to go. Still had a few laps before you really kind of needed to make your move, but why did you feel like that was the time to do it?
Well, I saw a couple of opportunities that I felt like I needed to take. You can never give up free spots, right? The guys in front of me were fighting hard, and I had a very, very good speed after the adjustment Steve did on this car on the last pit stop, so I felt like I needed to go for it.
You got it. Congratulations. Ruben Garcia Jr., your winner.
Well, they're going to celebrate that victory. Let's take a look at the results here this afternoon as to how the rest of the field came across the line. Ankrum and Dipple will run second and third.
There's Chase Cavery, Ruben Garcia's teammate in the 4, finishing 4th. Really strong run for that team and the whole organization of Rev Racing.
Haley Deegan had an up-and-down day. She'll finish the afternoon in 13th. Let's hear now from Tyler Ankrum as we go back down to Dillon.
Tyler Ankrum comes home in the 2nd spot, started on the pole, led some laps here, but just came up a spot short. What was the difference there at the end, do you feel like?
Oh, right there, that last 150 laps, we just got too tight. I don't know what really happened with the race car, but we got a really bad vibration in the right front, and the car just got way too tight, you know. Maybe I wouldn't have let the 6 car go by, but that was in my mind. We had like 40 laps to go. I was still saving a little bit, and I figured he was just going to burn his stuff up, considering how hard he was running. Same thing just happened to me. I just got way too tight, burnt the right front up, trying to get around lap traffic and trying to get to him the last 25 laps. I don't know if we had anything for him. We're definitely closing a little bit those last 5-10 laps, but you know what? It's all part of racing. We're going to work a little bit harder. We're going to try to win New Jersey.
Tyler Ankrum, 2nd place tonight here at Memphis.
Yeah, and it should give another point or so of a lead in the point standings. It was 11 coming in, now it's 14. But look at Garcia. He was 9th when the day started, and now he's just 1 spot out of the top 5. So a big day in the point standings for Ruben Garcia Jr. Here's Dylan one more time.
3rd place run for Tyler Dipple this evening. Ran up front all day. Came back home 3rd. How would you evaluate your run today?
I'm a little frustrated right now, but just didn't get a good restart there. The last one where it really counted, lost a ton of track position, and there was just never caution after that. I couldn't get back to them guys. We were just as fast. We were just kind of right around, hope we'd catch a break because we were just as fast as them. It's just unfortunate, you know, we had to spend a lot of time racing with those guys, especially 82 car ran really dirty, but overall my guys gave me a really fast car. I just felt like, you know, I could have had a lot more chance to win if we got a good restart there. It's just unfortunate. Just want to thank my mom and dad, everyone that helps me out, the TGR guys back at the shop. We'll get them at New Jersey.
Podium run tonight for Tyler Dipple.
Pretty frustrated for 3rd place.
Absolutely, and I think that says a lot about his race team. They expect to come to these races and show up and win, so they're not going to settle for a 3rd place finish.
Next up for us, the NASCAR Wheel and Modified Tour from Seekonk, Massachusetts. The Seekonk 150. Well, as they mentioned, they're going road racing next with the K&N Pro Series East.
That's always got to be a lot of fun, and we talked about it all year long. A lot of these guys haven't been to a road course race. They're learning all these racetracks, even the ovals, so it's going to be interesting to see who comes out on top as they go to New Jersey.
For Dylan Welch and Brandon McReynolds, I'm Ralph Shaheen. So long from Memphis, and congratulations to Ruben Garcia Jr. on the big victory here today.